Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Glad to have you aboard here this evening as we get going with the Edmonton Oilers news for the day. Not much on the way of anything. Obviously, the Oilers with an off day getting ready for Vegas, and tomorrow a big matchup to potentially draw within 3 points of the division lead should they be able to win in Nevada. Now, that said, not much, but there is still some to talk about, and we'll get to that in a matter of moments. Again, I know I hit this hard, but we're closing in on 17.5 here already. This has been a crazy month, all told. If you are new to the channel, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button. And with that, let's move forward to another note we have in which things don't seem to change tomorrow. That is where we're looking at. As far as we know, there's only really one potential change for the Oilers tomorrow, and that would be Zach Hyman. This here from Gene Principe via Chris Knobloch, talking about, what Tony Brower asked him when it comes to Zach Hyman's status on Tuesday night versus the Golden Knights. The Oilers will decide that tomorrow. There was a follow-up a little bit in the day there from Jack Michaels talking that the Oilers are likely going to roll the same old as they did against Colorado in the victory. So you have a potential here to go on a little road trip, go 3-0, and that would be a huge swing in momentum. And I do want to say, I know I complained a lot at the start of the year, and all of a sudden the Oilers have won 2 games that are kind of pivotal in turning things around post-American Thanksgiving. But again, the reason I was so frustrated to begin the season is it's the same old script year in, year out. Suck for the first 2 months and underachieve and don't live up to expectations and just be subpar in a lot of categories. And then all of a sudden, that November 20th, 24th window rolls around and suddenly you're a great team and you're a world beater again, and away you go. So here we are once again in the full cycle of it, this being the second phase where the Oilers get hot and a potential to keep that rolling against a Vegas Golden Knights team that, generally when we're rolling, seem over the past 5-6 years to knock us down a step. So we'll see what the Vegas Golden Knights bring for us on Tuesday. And the only real change coming out of that is potentially Zach Hyman coming back into the lineup. Obviously, you'd see Drake Caggiula be scratched for that, one would assume. And away you go. Drake's been great for us. Drake's been awesome. But Drake's spot in the lineup is by no means a guarantee, even if he overachieves. And for the Oilers, right now, you've got Vasily Podkolzin overachieving. You've got Kasperi Kapanen scoring a goal. You've got some different contributions coming up and down the lineup. Brett Kulak remains hot this year, and it's been an absolutely fantastic thing to see out of him. And I think the big thing is he's getting a little bit more playing time, obviously rotating in on the second pair with Darnell Nurse. And the big key there is you have seen from the moment he stepped on as an Edmonton Oiler, Brett Kulak can shoot the puck and score. Now, he doesn't do it all that often, but he can do it when he wants to. And this year, a goal off his career high, just less than 30 games into the year. That's a massive boost. And I will always on here on Dolynny TV tell you the Oilers are at their best when they are getting big point production from the defense. The more the defense can carry point production, the easier it gets, quite literally, for the rest of the roster. I mean, you know what? You all of a sudden start having the D shooting a 0.5% more better over their career average. Oh my goodness, friends. The amount that changes things in Edmonton is unbelievable. Right now, all of a sudden, you have a couple more points coming for a depth forward who passed a puck to a third-line blue liner like Brett Kulak. You have Troy Stetcher and a guy like Ty Emberson and those guys. You suddenly have those guys overachieving, and the offensive machine that's about to get rolling here, as we've known all season, now that the Oilers have adapted and figured out kind of the other parts of their game. Good night, right? You have the defense contribute points, right? Matthias Ekholm at 50. You have Bouchard at his regular 80. You have Nurse at 50. And then all the other guys just contributing more than their career average. I'm sorry. Watch out. This team can go. But again, right, this is because we're now in the second phase of the regular same old script where the Oilers have underachieved, looked terrible, had bad stat lines, bad penalty kill, all this, bad goaltending, And now here we are, still without firing Dustin Schwartz, this year without making a coaching change, this year with a new GM. And, we're ready for phase 2, which is start winning games in bunches. And by my count, you win a game against Vegas, and that's 3 on this road trip. And oh boy, do things start changing in Edmonton around the narrative. And all of a sudden the media starts saying, look out, this team's about to roll. And I'm going to tell you a day ahead of time, they win in Vegas, watch out, the headlines are coming. This team's about to roll. Friends, that's really it for today. I wanted to chat a little bit about that. Maybe actually we should touch on, I did see Bruce Kurlock after kind of following up on that tweet on Colin Chalk the other day. Did see it throughout today something about the players in Ottawa that might be shaking loose here this season might interest the Oilers. And I will tell you, I see it more from an organizational fit that some of the, I don't know how you put it, some of the guys in the organization that have been around a while in terms of the suit side of things would still have a pretty good relationship with Steve Staios, one would assume, considering Steve Staios, once upon a time, at this point, feels like just yesterday doing this whole shtick behind the camera, but once upon a time was an Oilers suit guy, well, and a player, don't forget that, pretty cool player. You would assume that there's still some relationships there. There's probably some good communication if and when the teams do communicate. So when it comes to the Ottawa Senators and any rumors you might start seeing over the next little bit, I will tell you, compared to a lot of rumors you see the Oilers connected to, there might be more material behind the scenes to Ottawa Senators rumors than there would be more or less any other team out there in the NHL. Simply because the Oilers should, I'm not going to say they do, but they should have a little bit more of an inside track with the general manager in that chair in Ottawa than they do maybe around some other places in the league after bringing aboard Stan Bowman and losing a guy who had, look, he's a league executive now from everything I understand, and Ken Holland, who was absolutely revered by absolutely everybody across the NHL. So we'll see what happens, but I would tell you definitely pay attention. It's going to get into silly season here. It's December now. You thought we've talked about some silly stuff so far. It's only going to get crazier from here as we march towards that third month in 2025 that is March. Didn't know how to set that up properly. Kind of used the wrong word, but yeah, anyway, we'll see what happens and we'll stay tuned. But like I said, where there's some smoke on the Ottawa Senators front, there might be fire, right? The Oilers have already made one trade, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Oilers sometimes double back when they make a couple of trades with the team. So we'll see what happens. Friends, thanks for being aboard. I am up on Oda here again. Thanks to everybody tuning into last night's edition. It was nice to be back. And thanks to everybody for, obviously, as well, the support on the Pack the Pete Purple event. That is now over 700 views, and that comes down to a lot of you watching back after it was finished. That full broadcast in high definition without the glitches should be uploaded by Friday. That's it. That's all. I think my housekeeping notes are done. I'm up on Oda here.